Kim Jong-un. He's got his finger on the nuclear button, and he's the head of a dynasty built on pure terror. But if you really want to understand him, you have to get this one thing. There's a fundamental conflict raging at the very core of his rule.
So who is this guy, really? Is he the teenager who was obsessed with Michael Jordan? Or is he the cold-blooded tyrant who murders his own family? The answer? Well, he's both. And that right there, that's the key to his entire strategy. He's a leader who's being constantly pulled in two completely opposite directions, and this internal tug-of-war, it defines his every single move. We're calling it the dictator's dilemma. Think about it. Does he try to open up his country, modernize it, and risk the whole system collapsing around him? Or does he just stick to the old family playbook of fear and crime that's kept the Kims in power for over 70 years? One expert put it perfectly. It's like The Godfather Part 3. Michael Corleone wants to go legit, right? He wants to be seen as a real statesman. But the thing is, his entire regime is propped up by this massive criminal enterprise. Without that mafia state, the whole thing just falls apart.
And we're talking about huge money here. An estimated $2 billion a year. That's what flows into the regime from all sorts of illicit activities. We're talking guns, drugs, counterfeit cash, and some really sophisticated cybercrime. This isn't just funding the state. This is basically Kim's personal piggy bank. It's what keeps him in power.
So to really get this dilemma, you have to go back. You have to understand the two completely different worlds that created him in the first place. This is really a tale of two Kims. I mean, just look at this contrast. It's wild. On one side, you've got the paranoid prince, raised in secret underground tunnels, with 4-star generals bowing to him when he was just a kid. And on the other, the Western teen, a kid going to public school in Switzerland, wearing Chicago Bulls gear, playing basketball, and skiing in the Alps. These two identities are literally at war inside his head. And you really can't overstate the paranoia he grew up in. We're talking about a secret world of up to 8,000 tunnels, some 1,000 feet deep, all designed to hide from spy satellites. The security around him is so intense that bodyguards inspect every single grain of his rice, and he even travels with a personal toilet so that foreign spies can't get a hold of his DNA. This is the world that shaped him. But then, boom. At just 17 years old, that Western life came to a sudden, traumatic end. His guardians, his own aunt and uncle, defected. They literally just disappeared in the middle of the night, showed up at the U.S. Embassy, and were gone. He was basically abandoned. He was immediately called back to North Korea, and his window to the outside world just slammed shut. So he's ripped out of the West, thrown back into that paranoid kingdom, and he has to fully embrace the family business. And that business has one very clear, very brutal rule. You eliminate all rivals, even if they're your own blood. The stakes became brutally clear. His own half-brother, Kim Jong-nam, was reportedly a CIA informant. That was a line that couldn't be crossed. So in 2017, in a crowded airport, he was assassinated with a deadly nerve agent. It was so public, so brazen, and it sent a chilling message to the whole world. Nobody is safe. Okay, but at the exact same time, the other Kim, that westernized teen, is trying to rebrand the entire country. He wants to project this image of modernity and prosperity to build a sleek, modern facade over that brutal reality. And you can see the influence of his time in Europe everywhere. He's building these Swiss-style ski resorts, water parks, fancy department stores. He's even expanded cell phone access and allowed state-sanctioned social media influencers to project this carefully cultivated image of a socialist fairyland. And his wife, Ri Sol-ju, is a huge part of this rebranding. She's a former singer, and her title was officially changed to First Lady. Her job, essentially, is to be the Kate Middleton of North Korea, to soften his image and present them as this modern, sophisticated couple leading the country into the future. So how does he solve his dilemma? How can he be both the modernizer and the ruthless tyrant? Well, the answer is he can't. But what if two people could? The solution, it seems, lies with his sister, Kim Yo Jong. And for people in the inner circle, this probably wasn't a huge surprise. Their own father, Kim Jong-il, reportedly dismissed his sons as idle blockheads and said it was his daughters who had the real mind for politics. He saw her potential from the very beginning. And her rise to power has been absolutely meteoric. I mean, she went from being a behind-the-scenes propaganda chief to becoming the first member of the Kim dynasty to even visit South Korea since the war. And then she was promoted to the Politburo, the highest level of government, leapfrogging all these veteran generals. Now, don't let the sweet princess nickname or that quiet smile fool you. As one source put it, flat out, she's a shark. It's believed she's the one with the ice in her veins to do the regime's dirty work, and has reportedly even ordered executions herself. And in 2020, she showed her teeth in a really big public way. She ordered the demolition of the Joint Liaison Office, a building that was a huge symbol of peace talks with South Korea. It was a bold, aggressive move designed to show everyone that she wields real power. So what they've done is they've created a dual dictatorship. It's like a national good cop, bad cop routine. Kim Jong-un gets to play the modern statesman, appearing above all the nasty stuff. Meanwhile, his sister is the enforcer, the bad cop who handles the dirty work, makes the threats, and maintains control through fear. And this matters to the rest of the world because it lets North Korea present this smiling face for diplomacy while the hardline threats and the brutality continue, making them dangerously unpredictable. It's a pretty brilliant solution to his dilemma, right? It lets him be two different leaders at the exact same time. But it also raises this one final fascinating question. By empowering his sister to be just as ruthless as he is, has he really secured his dynasty? Or has he just created the one person who could one day challenge him for the throne?